a lot of people ask for classes on graphics design and not the advanced class, okay, the basic class for beginners. I'm still starting. I just opened an app on my phone and started designing. So it's a class for beginners. It's a class for those who are just starting. It will give you the concept behind graphics design, and then we'll do practicals using the Canva app. So Canva makes it convenient for everyone to work with. It's a free app you can get on your phone, and much recently you can also install the Canva app on your laptop or on your desktop. So it's an amazing tool. It's an amazing tool you can work with, and it makes it easy for you to design on the go. So I'll be starting with the basics of design. The truth is, a lot of people get into graphics design and jump to the tools, okay? They just start clicking Corel Draw, Photoshop. They just jump in and just tell them, oh yeah, click here, click there. If you click here, you resize, click here, you remove background, click here. And so you are given a lot of tools, not knowing what you're supposed to build, not having an understanding of the concept of what you're supposed to do. And once you have that issue, you find out you're confused about how to go about the design or what to design, or your designs don't come out looking right, okay? So it's easy in this modern day and age to create designs that are, create designs easily and to create designs easily and to create designs that look very professional. So I'll be going straight to the slides, and you can raise your hand if you have any question along the way, or put it in the comment section and I would ensure I respond to that. It'll also be nice if by the time we get to the practical sessions, if you have your phone or if you have your laptop or desktop, it would be nice for you to have that close by so that we can do the practicals together. Okay, so I'll be going straight into the basics of design. The basics of design, that's a good start for us. Okay, so I'm hoping we can all see the slide. We'll be looking at the basics and elements of graphics design, working with the Canva app, then how to create brand designs and practical sessions. Okay, so let's move. So what are these basics? What are these elements of graphics design that we need to be aware of before we get into graphics design? Like I said, very often people just jump into the graphics design proper. Okay, so there are key elements that you always come across while creating your graphics designs, and it's good to be aware of them and aware of the role that these elements play. Okay, the first element is you're going to deal with are lines. Okay, the first element to deal with is line. Now, of course, in your graphic design, you would have come across different scenarios where you'd have to use lines, probably to create a frame, probably to create an arrow, to create some form of expression in your design. What lines do for you is that they enclose and they contain the parts of the design, okay, by creating outlines. So like you can see here, you can see my mouse. You can see my mouse here. We have the straight line, we have the broken line, we have the wavy line, okay, the curly line, and there are different lines like that, and they have what they play. Sometimes including lines in your image also gives an expression or could help you emphasize a particular setting, a particular composition. Okay, if you see the design below the illustration on top, you can see how lines were being used here to create that effect. Sometimes when you have wavy lines, it could be used to express things like, sometimes even things like water, sometimes things like brightness, like something shining is being expressed with lines. Sometimes expressions, somebody just wakes up, so sometimes expressions are being communicated with lines. Sometimes if you've seen those cartoons and illustration, when somebody is speaking, you see three lines, okay? One line going up diagonally, a horizontal line, another one going down diagonally. You see those lines, it shows somebody is speaking. So lines send messages. Just want to bring that so don't waste much time there. I'll move on to the next one. The second element you encounter in your designs are shapes, okay? And shapes are just simply the results of enclosed lines to form a boundary. Once two ends of a line meet together, it would always create a shape, okay? Once it becomes closed, once two lines meet, starting at the ending point of your line meets, you would have a shape. And these are basic principles. I'm sure someone's wondering why it's always good to start from the foundation, or at least get some basic foundation before you go into the main design. So we have geometric shapes. These are the regular shapes we know: triangle, circle, square, and the different polygons: octagon, septagon, hexagon, depending on pentagon, that's for 5, depending on the number of sides, okay? And we have organic shapes. Organic shapes are usually not are usually distorted in a way. You can see this one here that looks like looks like an F1. What are examples of distorted shapes? If you've read comic books, or sort of a lot of us read comics while growing up back then. You know the speech bubble. You know what, that speech bubble where somebody's talking, where they write what the person is saying. That's an example of an organic shape. There's this other one, the thought bubble, where somebody is thinking, that has those circles, and the bigger one. That's an organic shape. Then we have abstract shapes. And these abstract shapes are usually shapes that try to mimic a form of reality. An example is, you can see the one here, we have the sun. An example are icons, okay? So they tend to represent realistic objects, or aspects of reality in enclosed lines. So icons are an example. If you use mobile apps or you can see on the slide here, you can see my arrow. We have different types of icons. You have icons to show a bike, an icon to show a bulb. You can see another icon to show an airplane, another icon to show a helicopter. And icons have a role they play in. Sometimes icons are brought in when you want to help with a description, or you want to list categories. You've seen on flyers where you want to put dates and time and venue. You find that it looks nicer. Now, you need to know the different types of designs too, okay? But you find out sometimes it looks nice when you put a venue icon, and then you also type icon, and you also type venue beside it, or you put an icon for time or date. It makes your designs look really cool. Okay, a logo, and that's when your logo has a logo type or some form of art that are usually in abstract shapes. Okay, so these are different shapes that we work with in design. And when we get to the main design, I'll show you how to play around with that. Okay. Another important aspect of your design is space. and this is the most abused element in design, especially when people first start. And that's the space usually referred to as the negative space, is that area that surrounds the shape, surrounds the form, surrounds your objects. Okay, it is the area in your design that is not occupied by any elements. Okay, so I had to find a very whack design to show you. Just look at this design. In fact, let me see. It would have been nice to see our comments, but you can drop in the comment section. What do you think about this design? At first glance, can you first of all, you would know this design is awful, okay? But beyond just seeing that it's awful, what can you pick out? What are the things, if you're going to tell the person, you say, okay, this is a no-no. This is where you started destroying this design from. So let's look at fonts. The fonts are totally off. And I'm sure we would have about nothing less than 6 to 10 fonts in just this design alone. Okay, and that's really breaking some of the rules that guide creating a professional design. Okay, using too many fonts. Another one is we have so many colors. Colors are being it's a riot of colors. Another one is images and objects are being distorted. So I'm going to get to a lot of these concepts, but the key thing that brought me to this image is the space. There is no space. You have the heading in this image, the title in this image, very close to your margins, your upper margin, there is no margin around everything here. It's clogged, it's jam-packed, and it's noisy. And when you look at the concept of noise, you notice that even in music, music has space in between notes. And that's what makes you differentiates music from noise. Okay, when the music is just one noise, with no space in between notes, no difference in notes, we say that is noise. That's the same thing in graphics. When everything is clustered together with no structured space in between objects, then your graphics becomes noisy. Your graphics then becomes noisy. Okay, so texture, another very key component in graphics is your texture. Your texture often helps you okay, sorry, that's the wrong write-up. Okay, so your texture often helps you to add depth to your surfaces. Let me see if it's in the next one. Okay, so that's a mistake in the slide. So that'll be corrected before sending it across. So your texture often helps you to add depth to your images, to your backgrounds, to your shapes, because very often when you put your colors, they come out as being flat and 2D. If you look at this black image, this black background here, you would notice it looks like a wall. I don't know if you can notice that. It looks like a wall. Why? Because that we added a texture to it, and that texture is one of the textures we call grunge. Grunge, you know, that's a French word, or where it's GR. Is GR. This one here is GRUNGE. Okay. This is also another variation of grunge. This below, that's the it's a wooden grunge. Okay, it's a wooden grunge, and what it does is it creates that wooden effect to your background. Okay, there are different other patterns and other grunge types. Where you find this effective is when we get to backgrounds. Find out that sometimes using the usual backgrounds of color can be boring. So you want to make your background look unique. That's one of the times when you have to use grunge. Sometimes you use textures when you want to fill in your text. Okay, there are some effects you may not be able to get with Canva, but I'll see how far we can go with making sure you can create customized designs with Canva. Okay, let's move on. Frames and layouts. Okay, frames help you organize information, and they create some form of hierarchy for the eye. Okay, and highlight the most important information for the viewer. Okay, layout on the other end helps you give structure to your design. It helps you give your design some form of structure. Okay, now let's look at frame. Look at this image on the left, the Henthorn Hill honey farms. Looking at this image, which of all the text here is the most important text? Which of them would you say is the most important text? I would say it's give me a second. I would say it's okay. Before I go, what do you think? Let me see in the chat, in the comment section. Looking at this Henthorn Hill, which of the text there is the most important? Is the first thing you notice? You can just type it out. Okay, good. Henthorn Hill. So you find out in when it comes to order, your title is always the biggest. I see sometimes people take their title, take their details, take contact details, and give everything the same font size. When you do that, you create confusion. So your title always has the biggest font, and it's always big and bold. It may not be necessarily bold in the sense of being wide, but it should be the most obvious text, the most obvious font when they look at your design. So that's the biggest there. Then, of course, the honey farms is the next. It's looking more like a subtitle. Okay, Henthorn Hill honey farms, and then we have other little details with smaller text. The list being the established 2017. Okay, so you see structure. Each of them has each of these elements has their sizes in relation to their importance. Okay, but what brought me here was the frames. What frames are being used here? We find out that we have lines. You can see the lines there. The lines that are creating a border between Henthorn Hill and honey farms. You can also find that we have a circle. You also find that we have a circle here. Everything seems to be enclosed in a circle, a double circle. Okay, so these are frames. On the other hand, your layouts help you know how. And when we get to designs, I'll show you where these layouts come into play. They just help you know the structure of what you want to design. Now, this is one of the most important aspects, and that's your typography. Okay, that's your typography. Now, there are different rules when it comes to typography. Of course, your typography is your font, is your text, is your text. Now, your text is very important. Okay, and we have different text. You have your heading, you have your subheading. Sometimes it's called title. And some of these elements vary when you are creating different documents, and they have different functions. But your heading is like a title, and like the title of a new section. That's why it's called the heading. And we have your body. You have your body text. Your body text is usually where you have your details, okay? Where you have the bulk of your information. And sometimes we have your other text that may be used for copyright, you know, another little information, websites, and all of that. Now, where this comes into play is knowing how to, there are rules for how to use text, and there are different types of text. We have your script forms. Your script forms are usually the ones that are coily, and all of that, that are slanted, and usually look all nice and coily. We have some of your fonts that are the serif, okay? We have the sans serif, we have your retro fonts, you know, we have the major categories of fonts. When we get into design proper, I'll show you where those fonts apply. Now, if you are doing a design for, so I'm just going to get into some concepts. If you're doing a design for maybe something that's a form of business that speaks professionalism, maybe for a law firm and all of that, and you look at all of these fonts I have listed here. So let's see now. All of these fonts I have listed here have their names. Let's say I'm doing a design for maybe a law firm, and it's a very professional design, and I want to create my title. Which of these fonts would you go for? Just type the name. Let me see in the comment section. Which of these fonts would you go for as my major title? My major title font. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Roman. Okay. Marquee. The marquee font is Roman. Okay, I'm seeing Roman. It's really Roman. It's cheesy. Okay, so Roman applies. Another one that also goes is prismatic. Okay, these are fonts that are very professional. Yeah, prismatic, good. Norma says prismatic. Okay, marquee. I would rather use marquee for something a lot more stylish. You can see it has those dots. It has that feel of dotted lines in it. Maybe if I'm doing like a fashion flyer or something that looks showbiz or entertainment, I would go for that font. Okay. So there are different. If you're going for, okay, let's say I'm doing something for children. Okay, let's do one more. Something for children. Nominate one or two fonts from here. There are about two I'm seeing here. They're doing something for children. Maybe it's a kiddies party, something, but something for children. Nominate a font here, a font or two here that you go for as your title. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see in the comment section. Decorative basic scripts. Yeah. Okay. Seeing plenty decorative basic. Oh. Yeah, Hemofan you just got it. Maybe you like children. I'm sure you like children. Script and sans scripts are the best options here. Script and sans script, because notice they have that chubby feel of children, like chubby, they are stylish, it has that chubby, wide nature, and it appeals to, you don't want to go and be using Roman, or do you get? So fonts often should reflect the brand or should reflect the nature of the business or the brand that is using that design. You get? So don't just, man, I like this font, it's stylish, it's fine, just throw it inside. No, who are you designing for? What kind of organization is it? What's the purpose for the design? Do you get? So your title text can be stylish, can be any of the different styles, but when you get to your details, there's no reason why you should now be putting details on your flyer in decorative basic or inline, because your details contain the vital information of your flyer. Okay. Roman can also be used for professional. Okay. Roman can work for professional. Roman can also work for fashion. Okay. Roman can also work for fashion because it's also a type of serif font that usually has all those sharp edges and the rest. And most times they are really good for fashion. They are really good for professional services, So I'm trying to think if any other one comes to mind. So those are places that really come to my mind for using Roman. Sometimes Roman also come in religious text. If you're dealing with a religious body or religious whatever, Roman come in because they have that feel. It feels like those ancient, cathedrals for different church bodies and the rest. So, I mean, in the book of Romans, so yeah, sometimes it could also be used when it comes to designs that have that religious touch to it. Okay. could come in play there. So this is just a bit of letting you know the importance of fonts and how it can be applied to your design. And when we get to the main design, we'll now play around and see how to do. Okay, so color is another very key part, and trust me, this can be the most confusing part. I don't know how many of you have been there and you tried creating a design and you're wondering, what color do I use? I used to be there. You know, not everyone is good with colors, like color of the day, red, blue. There are people who are naturally gifted with knowing how to choose colors. For some of us, we have to learn it by skill, by experience, by natural learning. And you know, I don't know if I'll get into that or tomorrow, but colors also have their moods. Okay, colors also have their moods and the role they play in your graphic design. So colors create mood and they create an emphasis. Okay, by the time you start editing colors, there are different things you should know of. The first thing is hue. Okay, the hue is the actual color in its purest form, not being altered. Okay, whether it's red, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, black is the purest form. Now, shade is the addition of black. Okay, when you see highlight, is the addition of white. Is the either the addition or removal of black to your hue. So the more shade you add to your color, you can see in this graphics I have here, that the more black you add to this hue, the more it tends towards this color here. Okay, while tint is the addition of white. Okay, so there's tint and there's shade. But sometimes I've seen on some places where you don't have it as tint, you have it as highlights. Okay, so it varies on different platforms. Tone has to do with the addition of gray to mute a color. Okay, the addition of gray. So these are different effects. Sometimes when you put your pictures and they say edit, and you see tone, tint, hue, all of this. Saturation is very easy. Is either the degree of intensity of the color or the degree to which you are removing the intensity and moving towards black and white. Okay, so that's what is meant by purity of color. Try not to use the bogus terms there. So the more your picture is moving towards black and white, or being very colorful, that's what you call saturation. So when you have high saturation, the color looks very deep, it looks very colorful. Okay, and when you start going below, when you start going back in your saturation, it starts moving or tending towards black and white. Okay, towards the black and white version. And there are two color systems. Especially if you have to work with professional software, it's one of the first things you set when you start designing. And that's the RGB mode and the CMYK mode. Okay, RGB simply stands for red, green, and blue, while CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Okay. Now, what's the difference in the two modes? It's the expression of colors. There are colors you find in RGB, there are shades of colors you find in RGB that you don't see in CMYK. So what's the use? So CMYK is mostly used for print designs. When you are creating a design that will be printed, that will be sent to the printer, they don't print with RGB. Printers work with CMYK because it gives the vast expression of color modes. It gives the widest range of color modes and color variations. Okay, and that's the color mode they work with in print. But in digital design, so if your design is going to be digital, it's going to be used as a PowerPoint presentation, it's going to be used on your social media, on your phone, just a design, maybe you're doing an e-flyer and the rest, you go for RGB. So if I'm creating a social media ad, so a quick question, I'm creating a social media ad What mode do I use? RGB or CMYK? Okay, let me see in the comment section, RGB or CMYK for a social media. RGB, nice, nice, okay. If I'm creating a design for a business card, what color mode do I use? Okay. What do we think? I'm creating a design for a business card and I'm going to print it. Yeah, CMYK. In fact, the truth is, if as far as a business card you are creating, you know what happens is you might say, well, the business card, I will just be sending it to people. I don't have money now. There's every likelihood that you are going to, at some time in the future, to print that business card. There's every likelihood you're going to print that business card. You don't want to, and this is what happens, we offer online print shop services at New Life Multimedia. And we find a lot of times people go and do their designs in RGB, or their graphic designers do their design in RGB and sends the picture to the client or to my customers. And they're like, oh, this is nice. I love this shade. When it's time to print, the printer converts it to CMYK. And that's why sometimes you find out, this color is different from what I sent to you. Because most times you sent to your printer a design in RGB mode. And when it was converted to CMYK, CMYK did not have that exact shade. So it's hard to find the closest. And sometimes its automatic adjustment to the closest shade will give you something that's totally off the color you are intended to use. So it's always good to start with CMYK to know how your design looks, to know the actual color with CMYK before you send to a printer, because some of the designs you do with Canva, you might end up wanting to print them. Especially because Canva allows you to create some designs that can be used for print. So take note of that we have this RGB and CMYK mode. Okay, so I try to see how, at least within the first part of I could touch the basics, because the major part of this class is the practicals. Okay, if what we just do come here and say, wow, I learned RGB and CMYK mode, you didn't learn jack. The actual proof of your design skill is in the designing. Okay, so we're going to go straight to the Canva app. But once we get in, I'll touch on some elements and concepts before we now start designing proper with the Canva app. Okay. So as we're going to this section, if you have your Canva app close by on your phone or on your desktop, okay, if you have your Canva app on your phone, on your desktop, it will be nice for you to also open it up. And if you haven't signed up, just simply go to canva.com and go to Canva and sign up. Go to Canva and sign up, because a lot of things I'll be showing are from the Canva app. Okay, so you can go to Canva and sign up, and we'll get into some of the elements and the graphics proper. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen. All right, can we see my screen? So you can, okay, can respond to the comment section. So you can open your Canva app if you already have it. I'll just move around some of the basic concepts, then we'll get into the design itself. Okay. Once you download the Canva app, there's a free subscription, there's a free package. The paid subscriptions have the advantages, and I will get to that in a short while. There are pictures, there are templates, and some other benefits you may not be able to access till you subscribe for the paid version. But there's a whole lot of freebies you can access on the free version. So um, so let's move on. So I'm on my Canva app, I'm on my Canva desktop app, and you know the the key importance of what we are doing here. Okay, if subscription actually means you signing up, yes, you do have to sign up. Just in case I got that wrong, you actually have to sign up and with your email. Okay, so in creating a design, there are some key factors you need to put in place. Some key factors you need to put in place or you need to get on hand because they are required for whatever design you are going to end up creating. So let me just start with a blank design. Now, when you get to your Canva app, I'll open it on desktop. I'll open it on my desktop. I'll open it on my browser. So you get to see the different modes. Okay, you get to see the different modes and what it looks like. Okay. So let me also open on my browser to see. So you might have some minor variations in what you are seeing on your screen. You can see here the landing page, but they're all quite similar. Have all your designs shared with you, brand kits, all your folders, trash, and you have your teams. Okay. The beautiful thing about Canva is that you can create teams, which means, let's say 3 of us are in, or we have 4 of us in the New Life Multimedia team or a business, and you are there, you have your staff, or you're working with other people, and you want all your designs you want a folder that everyone can access so that, let's say I create a menu design, we have a food design, I create a menu. Someone can come tomorrow and edit the menu and export. So everybody can work on those documents at the same time or can view and download the document. So teams are important, actually, when you have your own business team or you're working with some other team in your place of work or or your organization. You have where you can see all of your designs. These are some of the things I've done over time. I rarely get to use Canva, so you can see some really old stuff. Only God knows how far back I've used this Canva. Some of these designs are as old as. Okay, yeah. But thank you for bringing me back to Canva for this class. Okay, so you can get to see some of your designs and Canva automatically saves them for you. You can see designs that have been shared with you. Brand kits is a premium feature where you get to input your brand colors, your brand fonts, and your logo. So Canva automatically applies it for you when you start creating designs. You get to see all your different folders, and all of that. So let me get to the main. So you have recommendations, you have social media, events, menu, poster, logo, my designs. So let's get to templates now. There are different templates. You find out for every design you do, there are templates. Okay. If I'm creating a flyer design now, and it's a printed flyer, the standard design for a printed flyer is A5. Okay. And A5 is, do I have an A4 paper? Yeah. Let me see. I don't have anyone close by. But an A5 paper, a flyer design is half of an A4. It's half of an A4. So when you take an A4 paper and fold it into two, you would end up having, I'm sure I don't have an A4 here. Okay, I don't. Okay. Anyway, but a flyer is half of an A4. So if I'm creating a design for a flyer, I'm working with an A5 size. If you're creating a design for Instagram or Facebook, very often for Instagram, it's either a square or a rectangle in the ratio of 4:3. Okay, the ratio of 4:3, meaning it's slightly wider. It's slightly wider. So if you have let's say you have if you were to have your width as 4 cm, then your height would be 3 cm. So either slightly wider or a square. So most times, to be on the safe side, for me, I work with 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. Now, the standard unit in designs is pixels. Okay, the way we have centimeters, meters, inches, foot. When it comes to print, printing large formats, you work with feet and inches. So when it comes to designs, you work with pixels. You work with pixels for your dimensions. This will help you a lot when we get to some other aspects. So my Instagram design template by default should be at least 1,000 pixels by 1,000. So what these templates do, and what they do for you here is that they help you. The templates help you automatically create your background and also create your template size, your background size for you. Okay, you can see presentations here are widescreen. Why? Because notice most times when you open your PowerPoint, your slides are usually on the ratio 16:9. Okay, that's widescreen. If you've ever handled a projector or a PowerPoint, you find that there are two aspect ratios. There is your standard and there's your widescreen. Your widescreen is usually 16:9, and that's usually the case in most presentations because of how projections are done. Okay, so you can see posters here. Posters are usually A4, A3, and that's why you have them here. You can see flyers. This is an A5 size. Okay, Facebook posts. This is a ratio of 4:3. You can see Facebook covers. I think that's usually 1,200 by 800 pixels. So you can see animated social media. These are squares, most likely 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. So for everywhere you are going to put that graphics, they have their different sizes. They have their different sizes, and it's always good to take note of that. So we're going to work with social media. Let's say I want to do a social media post. Let's do a social media post. Let's take that for this class. Okay. Social media posts. Now there are a whole lot of templates here. I'm going to start with blank that we build from scratch before we get into templates and manipulating templates. You can see most times for a lot of us, what we just do is no time. And there are cases, that's why you have templates. Templates are meant to help you save time. Okay. But if you don't know how to manipulate from scratch, you might be limited as to how much you can customize your template and adapt it to your brand. So always, and if you must have heard me say this a lot of times in this class, always adapt your design to reflect your brand. what are different aspects of your brand it should reflect? Your colors. Oh, I thought I even jumped this when I was talking about colors. So I found out what was my biggest trick to helping me ascertain the colors to use in my designs. One of the key places to find out a brand's color is in the logo. Okay, very often the fastest shortcut to know colors to use in your design are in the logo of that brand. So when you see MTN and you see the yellow and you see that other teal version of blue and all of that, you know, these are colors. I think some variations, sometimes it's that other royal blue you get to see. And I'm trying, I didn't know which one is royal or sea or navy, you know, but that's then along the way. But what I'm saying is most times in a logo, you would see the brand colors for that brand. Another thing that helps, that gives you a guide to colors that you should use are the images. In that, another thing that gives you a guide are the images in that design. Let me show you. So let's do a check now on this template. I hope you can see my mouse hovering over this one here, this template here. Do you notice this blue? See this blue on top here. You notice it's the same with the shirt of the lady here. I'm hoping, let me check the chat section. I hope we can all see. Okay, so which is the most preferable to use during design Canva, laptop or mobile? Okay, so yeah, laptop or mobile, it depends. If you're a designer who has time to sit down with your laptop and do stuff, and maybe it's part of your job description or part of, you know, but for a lot of business people, you are on the go. You are in your shop, you are in your office, you are trying to do things on the go, one new post. So when it's something that you need to do on the go, you use your phone. But if something you have time to sit down and prepare in advance, I would say it's nicer to use your laptop because they're easy to navigate around and harness small tools. Okay, but if it's for something you need to do on the go, then I'd recommend using the app. Okay, so can we all notice what I mentioned here about the blue on her shirt, on this lady's shirt, being the same with the blue in this shape, in the upper part of this design? Okay, please just indicate in the comment section if you can notice my mouse movement, so that I'll be sure we're following. Okay. Okay, I can see Victor. I can see your hand. Okay, I can see the mouse movement. Okay, Victor, if that's the question that you have, just type it in the comment section. Once I see it, I'll respond. Okay, now look at this cookie bouquet sale. Do you notice also that the brown here, the cookies too are brown? So very often your pictures should always contain, your pictures would either give you an idea of colors to use, or if you already have those colors, then you should try and ensure your pictures have colors that resonate with your brand colors. There should always be harmony between your pictures and your colors. Let's see another example here. You notice that even this brown here, okay, works with, you can see there's the tone, there's that brown tone in the background here. It's not plain white. And even the skin tone here also works with this brown. You can see this image here has pink. This illustration under women's rights, health and rights, it also helps to know that there's a pink too. So these are not coincidences. They are actually, you know, planned. Okay, you can see her skin tone here works with this skin tone here. So this picture has greenery, has green and other stuff in it. Okay, try that one again. This medical center. Okay, and very often brands have colors that go with them. When you are dealing with health, you find out blue. Blue is one of the colors that goes. Green, the other color that goes with health and fitness. When you are dealing with food, mustard color, red, They are very exciting colors that show that nature of being spicy and, you know, all of that. They are colors that when you use, it can kill the excitement with that particular brand. Okay. When you're doing entertainment, most times you can do with so much colors, purple, red, all of that, you know. When you're dealing with things about women, you find out purple and pink, you know. So colors also help to reflect brands. Like, so the tip I gave was check your logo and check your images. They usually hold clues to colors that you should use. So let's get into, let's say I want to create a blank post. Victor, if you have a question, your hand is still up. Unless that was a mistake, you can put it in the chat section, okay, in the comment section, and I would respond. So have a blank background here. Have a blank background here, and it's that's where I want to start my design. So let's say, let's say I want to create a design for a food business. So let's say the name of the food business is, yeah, who wants to nominate a food business name? There's fitness business. Okay. Yeah, now since fitness is nominated, let's start with that. Okay, so fitness business. Okay. Okay, let's start with that. So we want to do a flyer. We want to do a flyer, maybe showing our services. So what's the purpose of your design? That's another thing to establish. Is my design just an infographic to communicate some information about fitness and in that way link them to my business? Is my flyer an advert flyer that would show people details about what we do, our services, all of that? Is my flyer just a content to engage people about fitness? So what's the purpose of your content? That's key to what you want. So let's say I want to just do an advert kind of flyer that talks about what we do and all of that. So now, you know, like God that met the earth that was empty and void, have a very, and you know, till now, even with my experience over the years, whenever whenever I face this white space, I can't tell you how disappointed I feel, because I'm like, okay, where do we start? I don't know if you have been faced with that before. That thing about where do I start? That's why people like templates. I mean, if you see a template, you know, okay, I'm starting from somewhere to make correction, but you have a blank page. Where do you start? Where do you start? So let me give you tips and tricks and hacks in this business. You know, design is mental. Design is a concept. Design starts in your mind. And because it starts in your mind, and probably you're coming from a background where you were not a graphic designer, you were not previously you didn't have the skill before, it means you don't have ideas of design in your head. There is no bank of ideas in your mind that you are pulling out from to create a design. For me, I've done a lot of designs over time. So somewhere, somehow, my mind can find different scenarios in my head to pick out concepts. Do you get? So, yeah. So, yeah. Look at says that blank page scares me. I'm telling you, that blank page till now, when I see a blank page, I find out faith applies to design. You try to see the end of what your design should look like from the beginning. And that's what helps you. You start designing with a picture in your mind of where you are going to. So let me give you a trick and a tip to what I do. How many of you know what a mood board is? Okay. A mood board is usually that board where you put different ideas down. Okay. And it applies to different businesses. For those in fashion, they usually get that mood board where they take different pages of maybe fashion magazines and the rest, and take different styles and they paste them on the board to get ideas for what they want to create. it happens in design too. So what I do in my spare time is whenever I see people's designs, I go and look at, yes, yeah, something like a scrapbook. Yes, that works. So I actually screenshot people's designs. Till now, I do it. Whenever I see a design I like, I screenshot it and I save it. So I have like a collection of over 100 design styles that I've seen on people do. I'm like, wow, this, I like this. Man, this is creative. So when I want to design, I just go there and just find a, hey, there's one style I saw. Let me even try it out. That's my shortcut. It's on few occasions I sit down and say, okay, yes, I want to now generate, but generating, you must have time. And maybe I have a client that is paying for that level of creativity. But even when you get ideas, doesn't mean you're not creative too. Okay, but it helps you. So I want to do a fitness design. Let's do my shortcut together. I go to my Google and I ask fitness flyer. I'll show you some even very cool places too. So when I look at a design, when I look at this design here, when I look at this design here, you can look at the one on my right. What I'm picking out from here are layouts. Okay, if you look at these layouts here, logo, picture central, your title, subtitle, details, a blue bar, black background. Very easy concept. Let's see another concept here. See this concept here. This concept is works with an oval shape on the top with an image that has headroom on the left, right up. It has circles. It has stuff being listed here. Okay, so just going through different people's stuff, you can begin to get ideas. This is another one here. You can see. So let's say, wow, I like this one. In fact, this is the one I want to reproduce. So if you can, or if you want, you can actually even take your image, save it on your laptop, or sorry, give me a second. Yeah, Ctrl V to paste. Or simply do a Ctrl C, Ctrl V. This is the beauty of using a desktop browser. I don't know if this works on phone. Maybe you can try it, sure. I think if you go to Google and hold an image down for long, if you tap and hold for long, it will bring out the option to copy or save. I don't know if that works on mobile, but on desktop, all I just did was, what did I do there? I just went to my image, right, clicked, copy image, and I went to my Canva. Okay, works on mobile, nice, beautiful. Beautiful. So go to your Canva and attempt to drop it there. Why I brought this here was so that I can be looking at my concepts. But of course, it won't allow you to place it outside the container. So at some point, you need to know when to delete it. Or you can have it somewhere else where you can be looking at. So I want to reproduce this concept. For me to reproduce this concept, it means I have to have somebody who is working out, okay, like this woman here, and other things are just playing around with text and stuff. Okay, so one very key factor in your design is your background. Your background is a very, very major factor. Your background is a very major factor. You want to know whether am I using a plain color? Am I using an image? One of the fastest shortcuts to doing a design is using an image background. As long as you get an image that has headroom, okay? And I'll explain what headroom is. So let me go to, you can also go to free pick. I'll be using free pick a lot because free pick usually has a lot of really cool and professional designs. So let me go to free pick now. Let me show you a shortcut. We're still on fitness business flyer. Okay. So let me type fitness background. Let's try that first. Okay, sorry, that's the chat section. I typed that. Okay, so I'm on my free pick in my browser, and I type fitness background. Let me see if that will give me what I'm looking for. So let's say I wanted to do a nice shortcut here, and I don't like stress. You know, I can't come and kill myself. I'm that kind of designer, and I cannot come and kill myself. Who would you nominate here? Who do we nominate? Who do we nominate? Very amazing people here. Just women that fill this place. Okay. So let's say I want, yeah, I like this. I like this. Now, notice something about pictures. Headroom, okay, is usually that space around the subject of the image that allows you to type in text. Okay, allows you to type in text. The difference between this image and this one here, and I see this one has headroom here, but it has room for text. Okay, this one here is central, so you have to look for how to manipulate it. This one gives you room for text. Let me see. This one gives you room for text. That's the beauty of working. Free Pick understands that a lot of people who are coming here are people who are designers and who would often want to write something unless they just need a picture for something. So if you're getting from Google, you might hardly have the ones that have that headroom, okay? But this picture here is premium, so they might not give you a very heavy resolution. So let me quickly dive into that and come out. Now, the difference between how sharp pictures are have to do with what is called resolution, the picture resolution. Okay, I'm done with this one here. Let's say I type fitness background. Let me apply the same thing now to Google. Fitness background. Oh, that background is wrong. Now, let's say I also want to lift off Google, okay? And I come to this one, this yellow one here. Now, when I click it on Google, when I click it on Google, when I hover my mouse over it, I think on mobile, it shows you directly below. But on desktop, when you hover over it, you will see some numbers here. Here you can see 626 by 447. That's your resolution. And I told you that the numbers that we work with in design or in images are pixels. So one very bad thing to notice is that most times any image that goes below 1,000 by 1,000 pixel is often moving towards low resolution. When you are still around 800 by 800, or okay, let me open my mobile phone while I'm here to see what you're seeing it as. So I go to my Google browser on my phone, okay, and I type fitness background. Okay, so on your phone now, notice how I got here. When you type anything in search, okay, let me go back one step. When you type anything in search, the first thing you will see is images. You see plenty things here. Then you now start seeing plenty other links. So Google usually takes you to the category called all. But because what you are here for is images, you are here for images. So what you should do is to click on images. So if you have your mobile phone and you go to your Chrome, you need to click on images. When you click on images, it now shows you only images of what you search. So you're searching for an image directly so that you can filter out other distractions, okay? So on my phone, let's say I click that yellow image, okay? For you to see, so I'm trying to see if your mobile shows you, the resolution. Oh, I don't think it shows you. It doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't show you on mobile phone. Okay, so that's sad. But one of the key things you would notice about a high resolution and a low resolution, sorry, is that the higher the resolution, the sharper the image. Okay, so most times it's going to often look bigger, or sometimes there's a limit to how big it can show on mobile. But another thing is how sharp it looks. Once it starts looking blurry, just for it to look blurry on mobile, because sometimes it can look sharp on mobile and still be low resolution. So once it's looking blurry on your mobile phone, then just know this is really low resolution. Avoid low resolution pictures. It will always make your designs look awful. Avoid low resolution pictures. Go for high resolution pictures. There's a feature, there's a feature Google discontinued. Back then, if I see an image, I can check all the available sizes of that image online. So most times it can help you find if there's a higher resolution of that same image, but they discontinued it, I think, because of copyright issues. Okay. So most times you have to just directly find for yourself if it's a high resolution image. Another error people do is they go and get images that have watermark, Shutterstock, and the likes of them. Okay, you can see this one has Shutterstock, iStock. What are those other ones? Please, it's really, or you can use the one with Canva watermark. It's totally wrong to take images with watermark and Alamy and all of that. Exactly, Envato and all of that. It's wrong to take images that have watermark and use them in your designs. It's not professional, and it doesn't even make your design look nice at all. There would always be better options. So don't be a lazy designer. Do your work and look for them. I'm now showing you how to get images. So FreePic is one of them. There's Pixels, there's Pixabay. Now, the next thing you want to do is, oftentimes when you are doing designs, especially designs that are Nigerian, it's for a Nigerian brand, your audience and people your viewers are Nigerians or Africans. It's always nicer to use, this is not racism, but it's always nicer to use images of Nigerians or African Americans. Trust me, it's very hard to get Nigerian images. Very, very hard. So what you can substitute to appeal to people is to appeal to your audience is to get Black Americans or Afro-Americans or African Americans. Those are terms you should note when searching for images. Either you type Black American, or you type Afro-American, or you type African American. Okay. If I want to, even this picture looks more brown than this one that looks very white. I mean, if I use this lady in my flyer for a Nigerian gym, it just I don't know if you feel that way, but it's a perception, it's a general public perception when you use images of whites. It doesn't really, it doesn't really go. So let's say, okay, I'm now looking for more. So I say, let's say I put black. I may not put background because it's now confused myself. So let's just put black fitness first. Let me see. You can see, you will still find white people though, but this guy is a black guy. Okay. These two this couple are blacks. I see more people on blacks, but the problem is now whether you get blacks and get gym. Sometimes you might really have to search. It's not every time you might be so lucky. That's just the truth. Let's see. Yeah, you can see this black guy too, gymming here. Is black. So if you are lucky, you would often find black. I think there's a black lady here, and just that it's black and white color tone. And most times there are more pages. There are more pages you can search. I see this is a black guy too, just showing the hand. Let's see, this on that black guy here. It's on that black lady. Okay, it's just black and white. So let me just search one more page. Okay, see more of ladies. More of ladies. So you get the point. Try to often get images that resonate with. So do I now switch back to this guy? Because I mentioned black. Okay, now let me go with our black brother. Let's go with the black guy. Maybe I'll use a lady for the next example. So as usual, I can download it to my phone and import, or I can copy. If you see free images that are not premium, download them. Why it's good to download them is because you will get the highest resolution of the image. And the higher your resolution, the more your images look sharp. Like, so someone asked me, your designs are always, sometimes they are minimalist, but they are sharp. I said, because I use high resolution pictures. So I'll take this guy and let's see what we can do with him. Let's see if we can use him. If we can make him useful. So, oh, okay, there's something I wanted to achieve. You see why your design concept guides you. So we need somebody who we can get out. Oh, okay, so let's go back to our search. So this guy will not fly. Okay, well, let me show you why I brought up this guy's one. I was trying to create to teach you about shortcut designs. In shortcut designs, I just come here, I paste the guy, of course that's Control V, and I right click and set image as background. Okay. So if I double click, I'm able to adjust the guy in my background. Okay. So when I do this, it means, let me minimize this one first. It means I plan to put my right up here so that the guy's arms can show with dumbbell on this side. So I can now maybe bring in my text. Now, you want to use a text that is either bold, big, because that's what muscles are like. You don't want to use a slim thing. You want a font that is big and bold. You want a font that is big and bold. But of course, you would always see samples there. So what's the name of this my business one? Oh yeah, give me a business name. Let's call it Body Build. A dry business name, but as you didn't give me business name, let me manage that one. Okay, so let's say I'm working with Body Build, and you can see I go with white because it's a good contrast. Control C, Control V. Okay. So don't worry, if I lose you at any point, I'll just do some stuff and come back. Okay, or no, let me also do something else. I can just type body, press enter, build, normal typing. Okay. Now I have body build. Good. Now, body build is the name of my gym. Or I don't like this my gym name. Okay, please let's manage it. But if you have a more interesting name, please give me this. This name is not inspiring me. Okay. Yeah, we have body build, and that's the name I want to use. Club 042. Beautiful, like this. Like this. And sometimes the name of what you work with can also help to inspire what you're doing. So Club 042. I'll show you why some things are important as we proceed. Now, if I put this Club 042 here, maybe under, I would want to put a subheading and write fitness. Okay, maybe gym and fitness center. I don't know how to say, or gym and fitness lounge. Okay. Okay. I don't want this to go to the next line, so I widen it. Okay. Some of the things I'm doing, I'm working with assumptions. At any point where you feel, I don't know what you just did, though, please call me back. Okay, so now I've typed this. I'm on the shortcut. I'll get back to where our main projects for today, but I'm trying to just show you a shortcut flyer, which is already took care of background. Background has done 50% of the work for me. 50% of the work for me. Because of this background, all I just have to do is play around with my text and logo here, and I'm fine to come out looking nice. Okay. So background has done a major work for me. So Club 042, but you remember when I talked about text and I talked about frame? I want to make this Club 042 look really nice. I want it to look really nice. The way it's looking scattered. So I'm wondering, this my design is not looking good though. What is happening here? That's where proportion, structure, and other things come into place. So here's one of the tricks I can do to make all my Club 042 presentation. These are the things you go and pick in templates, but there are things you can do manually. So what I'll do is I'll take out this 042, this club here. Now for text, so let me go over the tools a little bit. Now, when you start working, you have templates, uploads, photos, elements, text, audio, video, background, folder, and more. Okay, so there are a couple of other things. In fact, they even have integrations now. Pixabay is an integration where you can directly just get a picture from Pixabay. You know, search in Pixabay and pick out the picture and bring it here. Okay, I'm not sure they have integrated free pick. Okay, so background here, if I didn't want to do that method, I would have to come here and check for a free background or import. So I'm on text. On text, on my left panel here, we have templates. We have different templates. Now, templates are shortcuts that can help you to just get started without much work. Okay, but if you want to go the hard way, you can either go, is it a heading, is it a subheading, or is it a body text? Okay, so I'm dealing with a heading, Club 042. So here you can select your fonts. Open Sans Extra Bold is bold. You can see it matches with the whole gym stuff. I'll show you another trick. I'll show you two tricks we can do for this Club 042. Okay, the other bold fonts, you can see Archival Black. When you see this crown here, just know that it's for premium fonts. Okay, we have Horizon, we have Leak Spartan, we have what other ones are not bold? What are other bold fonts here? Okay, so let me go ahead with this so I can just quickly show you what I want to achieve. Let me see how this Horizon looks like. Nice. I like this. It has one effect, but I'm going to have a problem using this for what I want to do now, the 042 effect. So let me stay with this. Now, the next two here, so we have fonts. The next one here is your size. You can either increase or reduce your size. Okay, it looks different on your mobile phone. We have your text color. Okay, and you can see document. Document colors helps you find all the colors in your document so that there's uniformity. Anything that will make you use more than 3 colors in your document is beginning to enter color riot. Trust me, unless you are dealing with maybe an entertainment design or all of that. Most times try to work within 2 to 3, max 4. But if you're going to use 4, it means you are just dealing with shades of a color. Okay, so try to work around with maybe 3 fonts or 2 fonts or thereabouts. Okay, there are default colors. You can, if your color you're looking for is not among these colors, you can go to new color, and then you see you can move. You can move this to control the shade inside here. Then you can also click to get the particular color you are looking for. Now, let's say I want a color that I don't know. I want ox blood. I don't know what ox blood is. I just have to go to Google and type ox blood hex code. And there's something called the hex code. Your hex code are numbers that help you. A color, every color has a number. Every color is unique, every shade is unique. So see the color, see the hex code is giving me here. Let's say I copy it and take it to my Canva. Okay. So give me a second. Okay, so let's say I take it and let's say I take it to my Canva. Sorry about that. I take it to my Canva and I pay and I go to colors and I paste it there. You see, it gives me the Oxblood version. Okay, you take your hex code and you paste it there. So, but I want to work with white. You can see bold, you can see italics, you can see your alignment. Are you aligning to the left? Are you aligning to the center? Or are you aligning to the right? Or are you justifying? Okay, are you justifying? Okay, there's a place for all of that. Let me show an example. If I put club 042 and I type it normally, I can decide to justify. If I have a longer text, the justify will just spread everything out and make it into a block format. To do that because I just have 2 lines here. Let's say I had 3 lines. You probably see that effect come into play. Okay, so I don't get distracted. I duplicate club 042. So let's go. Let's watch. Now this is one effect I want to try out. So as I'm resizing, I can see my width, 370. So I want a width of 370. I align this my text to the 042. And then I enlarge it. What I'm doing is I'm trying to get the 042 to be the same width with the club. Okay, so you can see I've made it to be the same width with the club 042. Then I can now can select the 2 and maybe make it bigger. Position. Now we have bullets here. We have your kerning, your track, and your leading. Now, what this does is you can reduce space in between. Sometimes you might want to reduce space in between the letters to make it look compact, and there are places for that. Some other times you might want to increase the spaces in between the letters, and I'll show you where to apply those principles. And sometimes you might want to increase or decrease your line height. I'll show you where that applies. Okay, and your other tools here. We have effects. We have text effects here too. Once you click any of the effects, you can see my club now looks like a glitch. That glitch on your TV. You can see neon. Okay, you can see core. You can see curve. You can see splice. You can see echo. You can see all of that. Okay, so different effects and these effects can be manipulated. Okay, I think I'm liking this neon. Okay, effect don't set. Oh, you're off button. Let's remove you. So I'm liking this my neon effect. So let's say I duplicate it and I put my off button. Okay, so I make them the same size. The thing about the effect is that it's blurry. So I might want to reduce my intensity or increase my intensity. Okay, just check the effects. Or let me use glitch for now. Use glitch. Okay, you come here. So effects, glitch. Now I have both of them the same line. My fitness lounge, my gym and fitness lounge, I might want to reduce the text and get it to fit here. Line it left. Okay, so select the one I want to edit. Now, sometimes you start having these issues of trying to select. Okay, so in that case, I might decide this is where tools like locking. You can lock an image, lock a text, and decide you don't want to be moving it around. Okay, so but for this one, I'll take my gym and fitness lounge and maybe increase my text a little bit. If I don't like this text, let me see, let me find another text. So your subtext should be something that people can read. I love Montserrat a lot, Montserrat and Lato. So let me use Montserrat Classic. Okay. So this tool here is your move tool. It helps you move objects around. On your keyboard, it helps you move your objects around easily. Okay. So if I select these three now, I have a title. If my effect is not going well, it's bringing in a color I don't want. So for now, take out the effects. Take out the effects. Okay, maybe I'll use lifts. Okay, so I have my Club 042. This might be just one easy way to arrange it. Okay, one easy way to arrange it. Now, let's say I want to try out something more stylish. I might come to this club and make it a stylish font. That's a script font. So what are my script fonts? Let's get into fonts to find out script fonts. Let's see. This is one script font here. This is one script font here. Beautiful. I want to make sure it's something they can see. So you can see this one. But that case is long. Let's see, how does this look like? You see, the Club 042, I can decide to make it not too big, maybe smaller at the top. I can say, okay, I don't like this Amsterdam. Let's see, is there another font I can play around with? Of course, it has to be a font that is free. And you find out a lot of the good script fonts are not free. That's just how it works with Canva. This on that option. I can decide to do this. I can decide to make it central. I can decide to align to the left. So this is another option. See, decided to make it central. Decided to make it central. So I can move this image back so that it doesn't keep disturbing me. Move it backwards. Okay. So once an image keeps interfering, your best bet will be to just move it. Just move it out of the way. So now, based on what I said about colors, let's say this now is my major font, my major flyer heading. I want to now put details about the lounge. I can probably come and bring in elements. So this is where elements come into play now. So as we're going along the way, I'll be showing you different elements now. For elements here, I can say, maybe I want something to look like a logo. So let me just type dumbbell. So this is what they call shortcut logo on the spot. So maybe I didn't have a logo before. I can just create one sharp logo and maybe give it a color. Maybe my gym color is yellow. So sometimes if you're confused about colors to use, Google is your best friend. Gym, brand, I still do this till now. You never get older than Google. So best colors for fitness logo design or how to use color psychology. So let's see. Sometimes you can even go to image directly and it gives you what's the function of the ad. Okay, I'm coming to that. You can see green, blue, yellow, pink, especially when it has to deal with fitness for female, all of that. Okay, so they show you examples. So let's say I want to play around with blue. I'm coming to say, okay, add page. Okay, so yes, your design, you might want to have different pages on that project. Maybe I want to do a carousel or a slideshow or or a slideshow for my design. I can create different pages. And export them differently. So this might be one design, or maybe I want to even do three different flyer designs and check which one I like. So I can add a page. Once you add a page, you start a fresh design. You get. So you can delete the page if you don't want to. Yeah. So I'm here creating a shortcut logo design. So let me just put an icon. Let's say that icon is my logo, and I'm working with blue. Let me find a shade of blue. Let's say this shade of blue is my logo color. So I drop it at the top. I can now decide to align multiple items. To select multiple items, then you click and drag over all of them, or you hold down Shift key. This for those using a laptop or desktop. You hold down your Shift key and click all of them one by one. Okay. Once I click all of them one by one, I go to position and I align left. You see, that makes it look neat and arranged, and makes it look neat, organized, and arranged. Okay. So I have my gym fitness lounge here. Now, let's say I want to list. Now, let me even try another thing for my Club 042. So this is me playing around with different concepts. Okay. So the thing about design is once you start seeing different ways to play around. I want to try a different concept now, where I insert elements into my design. And I want to insert a shape. So we have shapes here. I want to insert a square. I want to try out something now for my 042. So the more you expose yourself to designs, the easier it is for you to conceptualize stuff. So This is what I want to try. Let me make my blue, make my 042 to the inside, and then can bring this one to the top, or can bring it to the front. Okay, it's already at the front. So now to make it look stylish, I made this K to overlap that blue. So you see, made the K to overlap that blue, just slightly. So I now decide, okay. Okay, so let me quickly so that I can ensure we finish up, because I need to get something else plan to show you. Okay, so that's where proportion comes in. Always be mindful of your proportion. Always be mindful of your proportion and your alignments. Okay, so I have Club 042 gym and fitness lounge. Because I want this to show well, I can probably decide to give it an effect of shadow or lift, or shadow or lift. So I can increase the intensity so that now, what are the details in the lounge, what we do, all of that. So that's where body text now comes in. I can now decide to still bring in text, a little bit of body text here. Okay. Now, so what do we offer in this our gym? What do we offer in this our gym? What do gyms and fitness lounge offer? Aerobics, okay. Aerobics, cardio. Let's call it cardio sessions. Let's call it. So this has to align left so that it looks nice. Yeah. Cardio sessions. Okay, weight loss. Weight loss. Okay, dietary advice. Yeah, some muscle gains. Now, remember what I said about your space and not being rowdy. So, this is what some people do. Let's say you now have like 20 things that you do in that fitness lounge. Doesn't mean you now come and start listing 20. What you can do is probably list them based on categories, which is what we are doing now. Do you get? You can list them based on categories. That way, you don't have to list too much. Okay. Now, because I want this to be a lot more clearer, I can make it bold. Listen, I can make it bold and align it. Okay. So my Club 042 can go up slightly. This can go here. Okay. What last thing do you think I would want to add to this design? So this format of design I did now is the align left format, is the layout where you align it to the left. But what other information do you think is missing that I should consider adding to this? What other thing is missing? Beautiful. So address and social media handle. Okay, very key. Very key. So can you see I'm mindful of my space and my alignment? That's what makes your design look neat and professional. So let's say I only wanted to add, I'm trying to ensure I don't delete this template because I'm going to reproduce that template. Okay, so plenty things, so rishi to add to this thing. So I don't want so much. So let's just say, so let me bring you another body text. Now I'll show you that thing about space. I can decide to make my website central. www.clubofortune.com. Now, of course, they can't see this because you can't drop black on black. There's no contrast. So I'll give my text color white. It's also still very light. They can't see it because of the background. So I'll make it bold. But to make it look different, I can give it an effect of shadow. So this shadow color, I want black. I want a black shadow that has blur, that has no offset. Has little transparency. Okay, let me increase the blur. Little transparency. Okay, now to make this nicer, what I can do is go to my effects. Okay, not effects, rather position. Okay, no. Yes, this the kenning tool. Yeah, the tool here, and increase letter space when I want to centralize it. Okay, you can see I can increase letter space there and reduce it, and allow my grid to help me centralize it to the page. I can decide to do that, or I can also still decide to align it and bring it to the left. Or if I decide that I want to add my social media handles, I will just simply go to Elements, Facebook, to get my Facebook icon. So there are free icons, there are paid icons. So I bring in my Facebook icon. Okay, everything is about proportion. There's no reason why I should bring Facebook icon and I should be bigger than my details. So your contact details would either be same size or slightly smaller than. Okay, so can duplicate this. Maybe just, let's say, Club 042 Lounge. Move the bullets. And I'll take that, bring it here, reduce it slightly. Reduce this slightly. Okay, so you can see, voila. If I had maybe another Instagram, I can also bring in Instagram. Try to make sure they are same size. Duplicate this so that you have, same size. Okay. So I decide to move this. So there you go. I have my design. Let's say I still want it to, do I try that out? Let's see how that goes. So I still want the contrast. I still want the contrast. Not this thing to not really clash with my background. I can probably still try and insert a, you see the thing about designing from scratch. You design from scratch when you have time on your hands because it's a painful process. Okay, it's a painful process. So I can try to take this blue here, maybe make it black, make it very transparent, and then take it to the back. Take it backward, 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 backward. See this at the back. Do you notice what I did now? Because of this black transparent rectangle that I put, it helps me see Let me remove it. So you see, this is before, this is after, so that you can focus on the information that I have there. Now with this black one, I can even still decide, let's say I want to do a central format, a central layout. What will I do? I'll get this, group it. Let's say I group it. I try to make this central. Don't select everything. So let's say I select everything and decide to make it central. So this is under concept. I can make my club to central. Probably even decide to make this thing. Just playing with ideas, students. I can decide to make this one. I decide to make it 2. So what I'll do is I'll list only 2 here. Okay, it's 5. So maybe I'll list only 3 in one of them. And I'll list only 2. And I can come here and put them together. But it's usually nice if you do a calculation and ensure that it's 4, so that it looks balanced. Then you can also decide to bring my listing central. So you see, all of these are just methods of playing around. Okay, use the central pattern or use central pattern or use an aligned pattern, aligning to the left. Okay, let me see. Do I have much time? Oh, my time. Okay, so I think tomorrow we'll do a lot more practicals, and since tomorrow is Saturday, I'd expect that you have your devices if you don't already have them. But I would like everybody to get an assignment to take. We're going to do 2 things tomorrow. Okay, we're going to work on a logo and work on a flyer. Okay, we started out the flyer today. Tomorrow we'll work on other types of designs. Okay, we'll work on flyer and we'll get a little bit into editing video with Canva tomorrow. So, but I'd like everyone to work on something and bring it up. Once we start the class, I would ask you to push it. Let's see. If you're not able to work, I'm sure a lot of people will get back late tonight and need to rest, but try and work on something before the class. And in the class, we'll do another practical session and we'll just keep doing practical so that when you come across challenges, you're able to ask me, what do I do when I need to get this effect? What we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to get this sample I have here. Okay, because this will be important because we'll be removing background to accomplish this. Removing background to accomplish this, but it's minimalist. It's minimalist. So I think we're able to maximize times. 2-hour session for today, 2 hours tomorrow, but tomorrow is purely practicals. So go back. Remember the key things I said about your image. Okay, so you are done. Let's say I'm done with this, just for the sake of what we've done today. You just go to your download and you can see the different formats to download. And that's it. PNG, JPEG, PDF. JPEG is PNG gives you the best quality. JPEG will usually give you a smaller size, but good quality. PDF is when you want to print, and still gives you high quality. Okay, you can share your design with somebody else so that I can see whether they will be able to edit. So let's say you do a design, you want someone to come in, you can share the design with someone. Okay, help me edit, help me fine tune it, and that will come in. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Chinomer. It's really nice if you get to do this with a laptop, you know. Like I said, the mobile version is when you want to do designs on the go. Okay, everything's about convenience these days, so you should know how to do it on the go with your phone. But when you use a laptop, you're able to explore more options and more more things to do. So thank you very much. Is there any question? I'm done. Even if it's one or two questions, but I want to make sure we don't over exceed so that we can rest. Some people are still at work. I know someone that had to actually, thank you, Precious. Thank you, Norma. People are actually at work and having to divide their attention. Can imagine. Okay, so see what we'll do. So go back, try your hands out, you know, look at the different things we've done. If you have questions, note them down. Once we start, just bring the questions. We'll be taking the questions as we are going and solving everything. And you get to do those designs yourself and make it professional. Professionalism, what makes it professional is your resolution, your arrangement, your space, and your right use of colors and fonts. That's all. No hard trick. All right, thank you guys. It's been an awesome time. I had fun myself, and I look forward to the class tomorrow, 10 a.m. See you there. If you have someone who still wants to join in, they can send a message to me. You can send to our business line on WhatsApp 08077224976. I'll also drop my own line here too. If you want to put a call, 38. All right, thank you so much. Let me leave you to tidy up the rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, good night, everyone. See you. Yeah. Bye.